Derek Carr has been benched. He is done for the 2022 NFL season. The Raiders have decided to bench Derek Carr. Here was the head coach earlier today, Josh McDaniels, talking about that decision.
We're going to go ahead and start Jarrett the last couple games of the season here. None of us is happy with where we're at, but we think it's an opportunity to, evaluate a younger player who hasn't had much time to play. Talking to Derek, who was great. He understands the scenario that we're in and the situation, and very supportive of the two young guys. Those three guys obviously have worked together hand in hand all year, and, he'll do anything he can to help them. So, that's what we're going to do.
So one of the big reasons why this was done, and by the way, we'll be talking with Brendan Nunez in about 15 minutes about the Kings. We'll get back to Kings talk in 15 minutes. One of the major reasons why this was done, and maybe the reason, Tashawn Reed tweeted this out, our friend from The Athletic, earlier today. If Carr would have suffered a major injury in the final two games this year, then his $32.9 million salary next year and $7.5 million of his 2024 salary would have become guaranteed, as Chuck would say. Now it's guaranteed that they'll incur just a $5.625 million dead cap hit if they move on. It's all about the scaro. It's all about the chicken.
Gas trap.
Yep. That's what this is. If you play Derek Carr in one of these final two games and he gets hurt, you have to guarantee him about $40 million the next 2 years. If you sit him, take a cap hit of about $5.5 million. Now, Mama didn't raise no mathematician, but she also didn't raise no fool. And when you look at that money, you certainly know what's going on here. And so, McDaniels is up there. He's tap dancing with the media. He's asked about, does this mean that Derek Carr's Raiders career is over, et cetera, et cetera. Here's some of what McDaniels had to say.
There's no finality to today. This is just a decision we thought, after talking about it and contemplating it, that we thought, would be an opportunity for us to see, what we have in him and how we do going forward. We'll see. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot to be sorted through once the season's over.
There's no finality. Meanwhile, we find out that as Josh McDaniels is saying that at the podium, Derek Carr is running out of there like Forrest Gump. He's no longer in the facility. He's done for the year. Somewhat of an old reference. I think most of you get it. If not, check out @NickC Radio. I tweeted to Jeff. So as McDaniels, there's no finality, folks. This doesn't mean what you think it means. McDaniels is trying to sell himself as good as he can. Meanwhile, the former QB1 is running out like his tuchus is on fire. Goodbye. See you later. Here was more from the coach.
Like I said, it's more about the opportunity. Like I said, we're all accountable to where we're at. And I think this is more about an opportunity to see a guy that we haven't seen play in a situation like this against a couple good teams, really good teams. Derek's played a lot of football. There's a lot of evaluating that's going to take place here once the season's over in terms of how we make the most progress, what makes the most sense for everybody, and how we move forward.
Cattles and Rami, Sactown Sports on a Wednesday. Brendan Nunez joins us in 10 minutes to talk Kings. Whatever McDaniels says, here's the truth. Here's the fact of it. Derek Carr is done in Vegas. He's done. He's done. If I was some corny older host, I'd say he's cashing in his chips in Vegas. He's out.
Hey, biscuits.
Hey, biscuits. He's out. He's done. Finito. No more. Look, the Raiders, we talk about the decision that was made today. The Raiders showed their hand. Again, bad Vegas pun. When they signed Derek Carr to this fraudulent contract extension, quote unquote. They didn't show any commitment to Carr. We talked about it at the time when Derek Carr signed this extension. We said the structure of this contract tells you that Derek Carr will be the quarterback this year for Vegas. This is not a long-term commitment. They didn't put a ring on the finger. They gave him like a friendship ring, which I don't even know what that is.
A mood ring?
No, like one of the friendship rings that you give to because you don't want to actually get engaged. It's like the step before engagement now.
It was like the promise ring.
Oh, yeah, it was a promise ring. So you got a friendship ring, and then you go to engagement ring, and then you go to the ring. This was a friendship ring. I wouldn't even call it a promise ring because they didn't promise anything for Derek Carr. Just give him a friendship ring. We'll be your friend for this year. And if it works out, maybe we'll get engaged and we'll show you true commitment.
Or just give him a turtle dove or something.
They can give him 2 turtle doves if they like. And if people think that Derek Carr is going to go back and restructure, he's not. Again, he's not even at the facility anymore. He left. He's like, okay, if this is what's happening, I'm leaving. He's going to take an early vacation. I don't know where he's going to be. He'll take the next month off, feet up in Hawaii or whatever. He's not worried about it. You think he's going to crawl back and say to Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler, hey, I know you guys gave me that crock of a contract, and then you decided to bench me the final 2 games of the season, give the keys to Jarrett Stidham. You've shown me absolutely zero commitment through your actions, but can I rework my deal and take less money to stay here? Why would he ever do that? Bill Barnwell at ESPN wrote a column a couple weeks ago saying there were as many as 19 openings at quarterback this offseason in the NFL. Derek Carr is going to get a job, folks. He's going to get traded somewhere. He's going to end up somewhere, whether it's, hey, San Francisco, maybe it's Indianapolis, maybe it's Washington, maybe it's the Jets who don't have a quarterback unless you believe in Mike White. There are plenty of opportunities for Derek Carr. Not going to run back with his tail tucked between his legs. And by the way, I'm not even criticizing the Raiders for this move. Look, if you're done with them, you're done with them. Cut the cord. Talk about the relationship and engagement rings and all that stuff. It's like, why do you want to continue to date somebody if it ain't going to work out? Here's a little bit of advice for some people that are younger than me. If it's not working out, just cut bait. See you later. It's over. I've loved my time with you. We need to move on. This is not going to be one of those relationships that we're looking at our grandkids one day. It's just not going to work out.
You preaching, brother. Let me say that. You speaking to a lot of people's heart right now, Nick.
You just got to cut the cord. So that the Raiders, I'm not hating on the Raiders. They don't think Carr's the guy. Carr hasn't played great. McDaniels wants another shot with a different quarterback. Cut the cord. Like, why put yourself at risk and why put Derek Carr at risk? He gets injured, then you can't trade him. It'll be a disaster. So I think it's the right move for the Raiders. If they're done with Carr, you're done. You're done. You're done. It will be very interesting to see what happens with Davante Adams, though, now. I said this to JJ on the call this morning. Like, if you're Davante, do you look back and say, wait a minute, was that contract extension, quote unquote, given to Derek so I'd want to come here to Vegas? Ziegler and McDaniels are like, this is what we're going to do, okay? We can't get a quarterback this year. We'll just extend Carr with this ridiculous contract if he says okay to it. By then, we'll have Davante Adams. They'll think about, oh, we were college teammates. We're best friends. We're going to live next door to each other, blah, 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 blah. Then if it doesn't work out, we cut bait with Carr. We still got Adams under contract. So I'm not criticizing the Raiders. Once you make that decision, you make that decision.